All right, today we're going to transform formulas. That's fancy talk for solving equations for one of their variables. So let's just get right into it so you can see what I mean. So here we're given the formula for the area of a triangle, which is area equals length times width. You've heard it as length times width or base times height. It doesn't matter. They're asking us to solve this formula for W and then describe the meaning of the transformed formula. Okay, so let's start off with A equals length times width, or area equals length times width, or A equals L times W. And they want me to solve this for W. Well, if I want to get W by itself, I got to get rid of that L. Right now, W is being multiplied by L, so I'll divide by L. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Well, we're done. We've just solved the equation for W. W equals A over L. Okay, so there it is right there, A over L. W's by itself. Pretty easy, one step. Okay, now they're asking us to describe the meaning of the transformed formula. Well, what this means is that the width of a rectangle is equal to its area divided by its length. You guys probably already knew that, but here it is in terms of a formula. So if I gave you the area of a rectangle and I gave you the length of a rectangle, you could very easily figure out the width by dividing the area by the length. So the width of a rectangle is equal to its area divided by its length. And we figured that out very easily by just dividing both sides by L. Same thing here. We've got, we're being asked to solve this equation. P equals A plus B plus C for A. Okay, so P equals A plus B plus C. I want to get A by itself, so I need to get rid of this B. Right now, B is being added to A, so I'm going to subtract it. And I also want to get rid of this C. I can do two things at the same time. So C is being added to A, so I'm going to subtract it. And whatever I do on this right side, I subtracted B and C. I need to subtract B and C from the left side. So we get A all by itself, and that's equal to P minus B minus C. So say this is a formula for perimeter of a triangle with sides A, B, and C. If we don't know A, we could figure A out by subtracting from the perimeter the lengths of B and C. So the perimeter minus the length of one side minus the length of the second side would equal the length of the third side. Here we're given the Pythagorean Theorem, which we've done a lot of work with this year. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And they're just asking us to solve this for C. So we don't want C squared, we want C. So how could we get C by itself? Well, just like when you're doing the Pythagorean Theorem, you can do it in one step. Take the square root of it. And the square root of C squared is C. But whatever you do to the right side, you got to do to the left side, so I'll take the square root of that too. We're done. C is the square root of A squared plus B squared. So this would be nice to have this shortcutted formula. The hypotenuse of any right triangle is equal to the square root of the sum of the squares of the two legs. So if you find the square of one leg and the square of another leg, add them together and then take the square root, we'd know the hypotenuse. You guys have done that a lot. In fact, some of you that are doing Pythagorean Theorem without showing your work are probably doing that now and you didn't even know it. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is P equals 2L plus 2W. Solve the formula for L, and then we're going to use the formula. Okay, so let's solve the formula for L first. So we got P equals 2L plus 2W. The first thing I want to do is get rid of this 2W. So I'll subtract it. Whatever I do to the right, I have to do to the left. So now I have P minus 2W equals 2L. And then I want to get rid of this 2, so I'll divide both sides by 2. So here's what I've got. I've got L equals P minus 2W over 2. Little note here, you cannot cancel out those 2's. Can't do that, guys. Okay, now the next thing they ask us to do, so there we've solved the formula for L. Then they ask us to use our formula to find the length, which we already have this equation solved for L, of a rectangular field with a perimeter of 620 and a width of 140. So they give us the perimeter and they give us the width, and they want us to figure out this length. Okay, I'll just plug it into my formula. So length equals perimeter, 620, minus 2 times the width, 140, all divided by 2. So I'll do order of operations. 620 minus 280 over 2, which is 620 minus 280 is 340 divided by 2, and 340 divided by 2 is 170, or 170 feet. And that works because if we did 170 plus 170 plus 140 plus 140, the two lengths and the two widths, we'd have the perimeter 620. So that's how it's useful. All right, that's it for today. Rewatch the video as necessary and come in with any questions tomorrow.